are many better ways to wake up in a morning than in a field, in the countryside, in the middle of nowhere, drinking freshly brewed ground coffee. I think it literally is my favourite way to wake up. So me and Holly are very lucky in the fact that we've managed to get away for the second time in about 3 weeks. This time we have come glamping. I've done a lot of camping before, but I've never done glamping. So we've got our own pod, and in there is like a fridge, a kettle, a heater. I think I prefer glamping to camping. It's a lot of fun, a lot of fun. So this here is our little glamping, camping pod, and there's loads of them dotted around the field, but this morning literally everyone apart from us left. Everyone has gone home, so now we've just got the whole field to ourselves and there's no one around. It is so peaceful, so peaceful. I think my favourite thing about this place though is that we have our own fire pit, and it's like a barbecue as well. And last night I successfully built a proper fire, and I'm going to do the same again tonight because it's a lot of fun. You can't get Holly away from the donkeys. I think she's taken some cool pictures of them though. Have you got some good ones? That's an incredible shot. This one that I really like. I don't know why I'm showing them on this screen because I can't see anything. Look at this, I think they're growing like loads of Christmas trees. There's rows and rows of them and they're tiny little trees. Holly's taking pictures of them over here, but it looks quite cool. Anyway, in this video I thought I would take the opportunity to talk about why I've decided to start filming all my videos in SLog 2. Now if you're not aware of what a log profile is, it is a picture profile that you can record your videos in called log. I'm using a Sony camera, so it's called SLog. There's other options, you could choose SLog 3, but I'm not going to go too much into that. Basically I'm filming in SLog 2. Now if you use Canon or Fuji, there are different log profiles such as SLog, but the idea behind them is all the same. Basically the idea behind a log profile or picture profile is to improve your dynamic range and give you even more flexibility when it comes to colour grading. I'll talk about that in a bit. Why can you always hear crickets but you can't see them? There's loads of them around here, falling over, loads of them around here, but never seen one in the wild. It is Christmas trees after all. These ones look like they're fully grown, maybe ready for this year, and these ones look like they're all babies. Baby Christmas trees. Back to filming in log, in my case SLog 2. What you are looking at right now, for example, is completely colour graded SLog 2 footage. If I take off the colour grading that I've done to it, you can see that it looks very, very grey, very washed out, not very interesting. There's no contrast to it and it just looks completely flat. Now that is for a very good reason, and as I mentioned before, when you are filming in log, what you are trying to do is improve the dynamic range of the picture. So for example here we've got a nice bright sky and all of this foreground is in the shadows, and by filming in log what you are trying to do is capture as much detail as you can from the shadows and the highlights to then be able to have full control over the final look of your picture. So how do you expose correctly for SLog? Basically what you are trying to do is overexpose it, but not so much that it is completely blown out. So for example, if I show you my display here, you can see here that my exposure is flashing at +2 2.0. Now in my case this is because it is over 2 stops higher, but usually with SLog you want to be shooting at 2 stops higher, so then when you get into your editing software you can lower all the shadows and you get a nice dynamic range. Don't ever underexpose SLog, because if you're lifting the shadows you will get loads of grain and noise into your picture. So again, what you want to do is aim for around about 2 stops over. In my case, as I said, I'm slightly over 2 stops over, because that's because the sun is behind me and I want my face to be nicely exposed. So aim for 2 stops. That's not to be said if you're at plus 1.7. That's going to make a huge difference, because it's not. I think that is everything I'm trying to say. Hopefully that makes sense. Massive Christmas trees here. Look at the size of these. That's huge. Now to expose your footage around about 2 stops higher so that you can then bring your shadows and midtones down in editing and get a nice dynamic range in your picture, there's a few different ways you can do that. One is messing around with your aperture, and the other the ISO. Now I wouldn't recommend messing around with your shutter speed unless you're not too bothered about the 180° rule and the nice natural motion blur. So for example, I'm shooting at 25 frames a second, my shutter speed is 50, and you get the nice natural motion blur. If you're not too worried about that, mess around with your shutter speed, you won't have trouble, and it's just about finding the balance to get your exposure around about 2 stops higher. The other option is if you are using an ND filter, chances are you are bothered about the 180° rule, and you can mess around with your variable ND filter to be able to get your exposure to 2 stops higher. So yeah, just mess around with it, have fun, and just learn a new thing. That's what I'm trying to do, because I've used SLog in the past, but I'm trying to use it a little bit more now so that I can try and improve the look of my videos. There is so much wildlife around here. There's like bees everywhere. I literally feel like I'm trying to shoot a David Attenborough documentary with the shots I just got. Looks cool though. This path literally looks like something out of the Lord of the Rings, like in a forbidden forest or something. It's terrifying. It's only going back to our wigwam though. Falling over. Are you coming?
Yeah. I didn't want to be in the shop.
It's terrifying. God. It looks even scarier with Holly looking there. You look like a silhouette, that's terrifying.
I turned back, you weren't there, I called you, you didn't say anything, and I was like, where the hell's he gone?
I thought you'd left me in the forbidden whatever it is. Doesn't really look very appetising anymore because of half eating it. We've got burger, some pork and some delicious microwavable soggy chips.
Great idea.
We've had dinner and now it's time to make a big fire and toast some marshmallows and just sit outside until it goes dark and enjoy the last night of glamping, because it's going home tomorrow, but we are going home via Diddley Squat Farm. Might bump into Jeremy Clarkson, who knows. Proud of my fire making skills. I've never made a fire. Do you call it making a fire? Lighting a fire. Starting a fire. I am the fire starter.
Oh god, are you going to put that in it?
Yeah, I am.
I've never put the Prodigy over the top.
I've never built a proper fire. Look at it. I'm so happy with it. It's getting very hot with my face here because I have to get close to light my face. But anyway, that's the end of this trip and the end of this video. I'm going to Diddley Squat tomorrow. Hopefully we don't have to queue up for 2 hours to get in. My eyes from the smoke, my eyes! Ow!